A marketing manager presented this slide to her leadership team. Can you identify the issue with the slide? At first glance, everything seems okay. There are metrics, there are numbers, the layout seems okay. So what really is the issue? And if you're looking at the number of acronyms used on this slide, it is not really a real issue here because this is a presentation made to the leadership team and they already know what a CTR means or ROAS means. So there is no need for us to give explanation for each of these terms. So what is the real issue that you see on this slide? Now, once you see the issue, you will notice it everywhere. I'm Ram Gopal from presentationprocess.com. We help you present your ideas better. Now, to explain the issue on this slide, I need to take you back to one of the training activities that I used to conduct when I was a corporate trainer. From the class, I would ask for two volunteers. One would act as an alien and the other would act as a human. The task is very simple. The human has to teach the alien how to tie shoelaces. There are two conditions here. The human can use only words and a whiteboard to make the explanation. Now, the alien, which is a special one because it understands and speaks English properly, should only follow the instructions given by the human. It should not add any of its own judgment in following the instructions. Now, when the activity begins, this is how it usually turns out. The human says, now pick up the laces in your hands, and the alien picks up like this. The human says, no, that's not the way. Pick one lace in each of your hands, and then the alien picks up like this. Now the human says, cross them over, and the alien immediately does this. Then the human says, no, please put them back in your hands, and then it goes back to where it was. Now, even if somehow the laces were to be crossed over properly, and that the alien holds the crossed over laces, the next step is even more difficult. The human says, now pass one of the laces under and through the other lace. Now the alien freezes because the instruction is not clear. Then the human corrects saying, now pass the right lace under the left lace. It tries to do this, or it tries to do this, or it tries to do this. Now the alien is a little bit confused. Now the human says, okay, now pass the right lace under the left lace, but above the tongue of the shoe. Now the alien asks, what is the tongue of a shoe? And in a couple of minutes, the humans and the entire class realizes that the task is not as easy as it looks. Now, if you notice carefully, the human has not done anything wrong. He has tried to give as much details to the alien as possible. The only issue is the human has tied shoelaces maybe around 10,000 times in his life. So every micro detail, like which finger to use to hold which part of the loop and how much pressure to hold it with and how far the loop needs to be pulled through, all of these are part of the muscle memory, and the brain has stopped logging the intermediate steps long back. So when the human says cross the laces over, there are no missing steps because the human assumes that the alien should automatically be holding each of the laces in their hands and then should cross the lace and then pick the lace up after the crossed over position. None of these steps are registered, or none of these steps are actually imagined to be passed on. And that is the problem with expertise. When you know so much about a subject, you forget how it feels like not knowing the subject. There is a scientific term for this called as the curse of knowledge. Now, when you have the curse of knowledge, you don't give a proper context to your explanation. Now, let me bring you back to the slide that I was showing earlier. Now, this marketing manager has been working with these numbers day in and day out for months. So it doesn't even occur to the manager that there needs to be some context given, like why these numbers actually matter. And how do these numbers compare with the benchmark or your target or your past performance? And what is the action that is expected, or what is the decision that is expected based on these numbers? And that missing context is where all the confusion lies. And that is also the reason why many experts who have years of experience in their field fail to explain even the simplest of concepts. Now look at the same slide with relevant context here. What I've shown here in blue colored text can be on the slide, or you can explain it as a narration as you show only this text. It is completely up to you. But when you're sharing this slide with your participants after the presentation, then you might actually want to have these context details sent along with these numbers. CTR up 2.3% month on month. This now gets its significance when you say first time above industry benchmark this year. Now you know that this is something to be celebrated. Now when you say cost per lead down 18 rupees versus benchmark, The background context of it is the lowest acquisition cost in 3 quarters gives them a reason to celebrate. When you just say ROAS at 4.1x, people don't know whether to be happy about it or feel concerned about it because they don't know what the target for ROAS is. Now, when you say the target was 3.5x and we are 17% ahead, they get the context. Now, the thing is, forgetting to give the background context when you present numbers or when you present details is not only limited to a business presentation. In fact, the issue of curse of knowledge is far more pronounced, especially in technical presentations. For example, when a chief surgeon tries to explain a complex surgical procedure to a newly joined resident, you can see the issue of curse of knowledge. Now, the same way, a software engineer who has developed a product and has understood the product completely from inside out, when he tries to explain the product to a client, you can see the issue of curse of knowledge. So what is the fix for this curse of knowledge? How do we make sure that we don't make any assumptions, we don't forget the context as we make our explanation to our target audience? The simple answer is to get an outside perspective. You pass your content through something that goes through your explanation without any prior assumptions, no prior knowledge, or no prior expertise. And when you see your content and explanation through that perspective, you will really be surprised at how much clarity you will get in the way you explain. And that is precisely why we created an AI tool called as Concept Simplifier. The tool reads your content like the way your audience will as a first-time encounter, so you know exactly what you left out in your explanation. Let me show you a practical demonstration of how this tool works. Let's say a software architect tries to explain their system to a non-technical stakeholder using this language. In distributed architectures, eventual consistency enables asynchronous replication across geographically dispersed nodes, prioritizing availability and partition tolerance over immediate synchronization. I think by now you already understand that this sounds like Greek and Latin, and it is not very easy for a non-technical person to understand this. But if you ask the software architect, he would say that this is a very clear, lucid, and precise explanation of the system. Now, we are going to simplify this so the non-technical stakeholder would be able to understand this explanation. So I'm going to just copy this. Let us go to Presentation Process AI Club, which is a collection of AI tools that are meant for presenters who explain for a living. One of the tools is Concept Simplifier, and I'm going to paste it over here. Then I answer a couple of very simple questions. Who are you explaining this to? I'm going to click on the drop-down menu. Let us say it is a non-expert audience. And what do you want them to do after? Let us click on this. I want them to just understand it, simply understand it. And what is their awareness level? Maybe 2, because they are not the technical experts, but they understand enough to be able to follow the explanation when it is explained in an easy way. And let us say simplify this. And we get this output. First, you understand what the core claim of that paragraph is. In big distributed systems, different computers share data at slightly different times, and that small delay can cause problems that need to be fixed automatically. So this is the core claim of what we are trying to explain, which actually looked like this. Then we go with an analogy for this concept, which is imagine you and your 2 friends all keep a shared shopping list on separate notepads. When one person crosses something off, the others don't know immediately. They find out a few minutes later. For a brief moment, your lists don't match. Eventually, they all catch up, but someone might accidentally buy milk twice in the meantime. That catch-up process is exactly what this paragraph is describing. Can you see how easy it is for even the most non-technical person to understand this idea? Now let us go down. We go to the next section, which is jargon buster. In that paragraph that I showed you, there are a lot of jargon, and for each jargon, a plain swap is suggested. Why this swap works, and use this instead. If you are going to explain, use this explanation instead. So that is what is given for each of them. Say distributed architecture is your complex term. The plain swap is a system spread across many computers in different places. Why it works? It just means no single machine is doing all the work. It is split across many. And what is the explanation that you give? Think of it like a company with offices in 5 cities. No single office runs everything. So this is a simple way to explain the idea to a non-technical person. Like that, you will have the explanation for each of the jargon terms, And then you have the whole thing rewritten in plain language. In systems where data is spread across many computers in different locations, those computers do not all update at exactly the same time. Instead, updates are sent in the background. Each computer catches up on its own schedule. This keeps the system fast and running even when connections are unstable. The trade-off is that for a short window, different computers might show slightly different versions of the same data. To fix this, the system uses automatic rules to figure out which version is correct and bring everything back into agreement. So this is the plain language explanation of the complex paragraph that I showed you earlier. Then we have the next section, which is a very important one, which is pressure testing it. First, we see what misconception is possible when you show such a complex paragraph. Most people assume that if computers are connected, they are always perfectly in sync, like mirrors that update instantly. The reality is that keeping every machine perfectly in sync at all times is extremely slow and expensive. So most large systems deliberately allow a short lag and reconcile differences afterward. So this misconception might be there in the minds of the receiving audience, and therefore you need to be aware of it and change your explanation accordingly. And what is the objection that you're likely to face, and what is your response is given here. And then we also have a diagnostic question, which is ask the audience, if two people edit the same document at the same time on different devices, what do you think happens to their changes? A good response acknowledges that one might override the other or they might be merged, showing they grasp the conflict problem. A poor response assumes changes just appear instantly with no issue, which means the core tension did not land. So you can ask the simple question to know how much your audience knows about the topic you're discussing. Then we go down and we talk about how you need to present it. What do you say out loud? And if you were to build one slide to explain this, then what should be the slide title? And what should be the slide content? And how should the visual be? It has to be a before after, and you have an explanation of why it needs to be that and what is the thing that you need to avoid. And then we have speaker notes, which has a clear hook, a core explanation, and transition. You just need to copy this and then make a slide to explain this particular concept. So you can see for one concept, one explanation that seemed almost impossible for any commoner to understand, we have so much clarity and so many dimensions in which the same concept is analyzed. So you can explain your complex concepts in a way that anyone can understand. So if you're interested to know more about Presentation Process AI Club, the link is in the description box below the video. And we have clearly explained the profile of people who would find the tools inside the club to be of most use. So click on the link, come to this page, watch this video, and see if these tools can make your explanation as clear as you want them to be. I'll see you inside the Presentation Process AI Club next.